Drinking and driving is okay. No, it isn't. And that's the purpose of this video. Most people are pretty good drivers. If they weren't, they wouldn't share the road with each other. The problem arises when people have a couple of drinks. Some people think, oh, home, it's only a couple of miles away, driven there before, know where it is. And some people think, I'm Lieutenant Ferrari, king of the highway. But they're not. Drinking and driving ruins lives, and that's a fact.
Yeah. It's also a fact that Irish law is very clear on drink driving, with a legal alcohol level of only 80 milligrams per 100 millilitres of blood. So,
we brought a number of young people to the AA test centre for a series of controlled driving tests, which we asked them to perform both sober and then again after a few drinks. To achieve this, we had to find some people between the ages of 18 and 25 who were prepared to drink alcohol. So, how do you feel about drink driving?
People should really cop on and not drink and drive, have a designated driver, or get a taxi because it's cheaper to pay £10 than to end up in prison or end up dead.
Well, it obviously depends on how much they drink, but like 1 or 2 can't hurt.
I hopefully will be able to hold the road just as well, but I know, I reckon a few nerves will be gone.
I'd say the actual effect it would have would be fairly marginal. I mean, 90% of the time I'd imagine I'd be able to drive more or less the same.
I will be interested to see actually if it does, if it has an impact, and if it does, I would be much more wary.
I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but I just think I'll be able to handle it fairly well. No problem.
Absolutely.
There are 4 parts to the test, and after the first round we'll have several more rounds at our improvised bar here. And if I know Lorraine, we'll begin with a simple exercise.
we begin with a simple exercise. All they have to do is drive in a straight line and stop as near to the obstacle as possible without hitting it. The second test is a little harder. They still have to stop in the same way, but now they have to negotiate a sharp bend first. Next, the very same again, but this time the road is wet. And finally, using a specially controlled car designed to simulate a skid, we'll see if our drivers can stay on the straight and narrow.
At last, here in our temporary bar, it's time to get the drink in. And now the breathalyzer test. And if the crystals go green, then they fail the test.
Just from looking at that now, that would be a positive reading. The negative reading. There's a positive reading, which would indicate that he's over the legal limit. Now, this is a positive reading, which would indicate that she's over the legal limit.
An hour after they finished drinking, they were breathalyzed and digitally tested using an alcometer. 1 or 2 were under the limit, most were over.
Some of them more than others.
I would never drink and drive again. Full stop. It's just a case of your judgment, and just everything fails you when you're out there. I lost it basically.
I wouldn't drink and drive. Well, I haven't before anyway. It does definitely affect your judgment.
Legally, you're not allowed to drink drive, but people do it anyway, so you're taking a huge risk.
I did actually feel the effects of my drink, but when I sat in the car I thought, right, I'm going to prove this wrong.
I know that I wouldn't be able to drink and drive, and nearly killed somebody as well. Like when it comes to my judgment and the law sort of wins.
People who drink and drive don't think in the first place what the weather's like, who's with them in the car. It's just a no-go area. It affects everything, and it's just a definite no-go. Kind of did have confidence enough to do it properly and do it right and maybe even do it better, but just because you're confident is a hell of a lot more higher doesn't mean your judgment is as sharp.
I felt confident all right in the car, but my whole judgment on the car and the back was totally gone.
If you drink and drive, you're a danger, not only to yourself, but to other drivers and pedestrians as well. You've seen the tests.
The simple answer is, if you're going to drive, don't drink. And if you're going to drink, don't drive.